We all know about the big three. It has recently become quite debatable though, since many new anime watchers from COVID have since found out that one does not need to watch years worth of filler just to understand the plot of an anime. They are entitled to have their own opinion, but the fact is, One Piece, Naruto, and Bleach are called the big three because of their popularity in the last few decades. If there's one thing that is not debatable, it is that DBZ is the father of them all. Many from Gen X to Gen Alpha is a fan of Goku. Every one of us has tried to learn flying skills when Gohan taught it to Videl, or to shoot a Kamehameha wave when we first saw Master Roshi or Goku busted out for the first time. That aside, today's topic is about one of the big three. To be specific, it's about Naruto, the anime with one of the best storylines of all time. Other than hundreds of episodes of filler, everything else about this anime is damn near perfect. Whether it's the characters, the plot, the songs, everything hits on a level so deep that we can't deny its presence. One character though who stood out, particularly for his hatred, despite being controversial sometimes, is Tobirama Senju. As the second Hokage, he was known for his genius-level intellect and prowess in combat, but also for that lovable disdain towards the Uchiha clan. Today, we're going to be diving deeper into his complex views and examine whether his hatred for the Uchiha clan is justifiable or simply a product of fear and misunderstanding. Let's unpack the historical context, the Uchiha's behavior, and Tobirama's experiences to see if his perspective holds any merit. My name is TK. If you all are enjoying the content, please drop a like and subscribe. With that, let's begin. Born in the clan of Senju, Tobirama founded the first shinobi village of Konoha with his brother and the Uchiha clan. He worked tirelessly to achieve political stability in the village, and by implementing different institutions, he made the village prosper. After his brother's run as the first Hokage, he earned the title of Second Hokage. Along with his brothers, Tobirama grew up on the battlefield waging constant wars with their rival clans. The major one among them was the Uchiha. After the death of two of his brothers, Tobirama and Hashirama decided to adopt a new system that would end the cycle of deaths and would require an alliance between the rival clans. Upon his father's instructions, Tobirama followed Hashirama into the forest only to find out that he had been meeting with a boy named Uchiha Madara. Tobirama reported it to his father Butsuma, who forced Hashirama to lead Madara into a trap. Turns out, Madara's family had the same plan, so Butsuma clashed with Madara's father while Tobirama clashed with Izuna, Madara's younger brother. For the time being, both sides walked away with a ceasefire, but the clans continued to clash. On one of these occasions, Tobirama mortally wounded Izumi. After Izuna lost his life, Madara made one final stand against the Senju, but was defeated. Tobirama was about to end Madara's life when Hashirama, the now leader of the Senju, stopped him, saying that it would only renew the hostilities. Madara offered to surrender only if Hashirama ended his own life or his brother's life to bring peace once and for all. Hashirama agreed to take his own life for the sake of peace. Ultimately, Madara withdrew his request. Later, Senju, Uchiha, and the other clans came together to found the village of Konoha, a peaceful village where children did not have to die in the battlefield. Hashirama was optimistic about it, but Tobirama remained realistic about how difficult it would be for these clans to work together. He believed that the Uchiha, or in particular Madara, was the greatest threat to this dream of peace. Tobirama remained a voice of reason throughout Hashirama's tenure. By the way, Hashirama wanted to give Madara the position of Hokage, but Tobirama talked him into opening the selection of a democratic process, which led to Hashirama's selection over Madara. Hashirama developed a new system of ninja villages that achieved peace for the time being. Tobirama started training his three-man team comprising of Hiruzen Sarutobi, Homura Hitokura, and Konoharu Utatane. The peace ultimately ended when Madara challenged Hashirama's authority, and the two fought at the Valley of the End in a climactic battle that every anime viewer should know about. Madara seemingly loses his life in this battle, so Tobirama takes his body to study the Sharingan. He then buried it in an unmarked grave. Conflicts arose everywhere else, and among one of those, Hashirama lost his life. Before passing on, he passed the title of Hokage to Tobirama and instructed him not to mistreat the Uchiha. But it's a little sketchy and a little unknown exactly when Hashirama died. and when Tobirama kind of came into power. So if anyone has any extra information on it, please debate it in the comments below. Tobirama proved to be a great leader while always putting the peace of the village above everything else. He created institutions like the Academy, the Anbu, and the Chunin exams. Tobirama was still sensing a bit of resistance from the Uchiha, and since he was already wary of them because of his history with Madara, he created the Konoha Military Police Force just for the Uchiha to run, so that their energies are focused on something beneficial towards the village. However, it left a taste of marginalization among everyone in the village, especially in the hearts and minds of the Uchiha. He tried to develop good diplomatic relations with other villages, but during a formal ceremony, he and the Second Hokage were attacked by the Gold and Silver Brothers. During the First Shinobi War, his team along with Danzo, Torefu, and Kagami found themselves cornered, so he acted as a decoy for them to escape. He passed on the title of Hokage to Hiruzen before passing on at the hands of Kinkaku. Now that we have covered Tobirama's story, let's dig into the Uchiha clan. This clan was the strongest among the Konoha villagers, but it grew isolated because Tobirama ultimately lost most of their own during the Uchiha clan downfall. The people of the Uchiha clan are subject to strong and powerful emotions because of the curse of hatred on them. Whenever they lose a loved one, their overpowering hatred emerges and awakens an Uchiha Sharingan. This Sharingan is the reason for their fame and notoriety in the series. The Uchiha are the descendants of Idra Utsutsuki. The rivalry among the Uchiha and Senju traces back to the days of Indra and his brother Asura. Despite being younger, he was named as successor by the Sage of Six Paths. This bothered Indra, so driven by his curse of hatred, he fought Asura. This battle, or at this point, this war, was continued by their descendants. Indra's lineage became known as the Uchiha, whereas Asura's lineages became the Senju. During the Warring States period, Senju became the strongest shinobi clan, so they would often get hired by one of the countries for a job. As a result, the rivaling country would hire Uchiha to fight the Senju in return. This continued until a little boy from the Uchiha named Madara became friends with a boy from the Senju, Hashirama. They tried to end this cycle of hatred, only to find themselves at the other end of each other's swords. After losing Izumi, Madara awakened his Mangekyo Sharingan, and with this power, he took control of the Uchiha. He then challenged the Senju, lost, and demanded that Hashirama claim his own life, which he withdrew after seeing how Hashirama was ready to give up his own life for the sake of peace for both clans. Madara was not happy with Hashirama becoming the leader, as it simply portrayed that Senju are superior to the Uchiha. He tried to rally his clan to take control, but they were tired of the fighting, so they made Madara leave. He later returned to challenge Hashirama one last time, only to lose his life in the battle. Despite this, Hashirama didn't discriminate against the Uchiha. It was Tobirama who built the headquarters of the military police in a remote part of the Konoha village for them, leading many to believe that they were being distanced from any real influence in the village. Now that we know stories from both sides, let's dig into the hatred in Tobirama for the Uchiha. Tobirama is known for being someone who hates the Uchiha, but as we just went through their entire history, it doesn't seem like Tobirama did any injustice or something to them. He did not fight them, he didn't abandon them from the village. The most he did was try to focus their energies towards something productive. There is a reason why he didn't trust them like the others. That is because he researched the Sharingan and the common psychological status of many Uchiha. He found out that no clan loves more deeply than the Uchiha. That means that this world with trauma on every other step can easily and quickly turn their feelings into hatred, resulting in violence and revenge. With such strong emotions that could easily cloud the sense of judgment, Tobirama senses danger from them. Because he understood them more than they understood themselves, Tobirama tried to direct their strong emotions towards justice. Tobirama valued the village's peace the most, so he was wary of anything that could threaten it. Fighting them his whole life would have been enough reason for him to blindly hate the Uchiha, but he did not. He simply feared that their curse may become the reason behind the disruption of peace. Just like many of the viewers who think Tobirama hated them, the Uchiha also started thinking that Tobirama hated them. If he actually hated them, he would most definitely not have given them one of the most major and influential institutions of the village. We already saw how Tobirama is a realistic kind of guy. He's not an irrational or an emotional kind of man. He knows that love is a strong emotion, and there's a very thin line between love and hate. A leader who isn't wary of extremists is a very bad leader. Ever since childhood, Tobirama has been a man of facts. He would always look at things with a critical point of view. Even when Hashirama stood up against their father, Tobirama could see that Hashirama was getting emotional over his dream of peace. At the same time, he could also understand his father's emotions over continuing the fight. He didn't care about who was right, as long as they got to live another day. Surviving is what mattered to him the most. After becoming the leader, the village's survival became the most important thing to him. Tobirama might have been the only one during the Warring States period who realized that emotions blind the sense of right and wrong. He knew that his brother Hashirama wasn't an emotional one, which is why he would always make sure that his brother didn't mess anything up anywhere, or that his soft nature wasn't used against them. All his life, he neglected his own emotions and preferred facts and reasoning. This approach gave him endless victories. He defeated Izumi and was right about Madara trying to take over, and his policies started bearing fruit at a tremendous pace. For someone so clever, he did make a mistake, and that mistake is what led to the Uchiha downfall and the coup d'etat. Let us differentiate, though, Tobirama from Hashirama. Hashirama has to be the best leader, whereas Tobirama is the perfect strategist. Hashirama is someone who can purify the ones close to him, but Tobirama is not like that. Hashirama was loved by everyone, whereas Tobirama is the guy known for marginalizing the Uchiha. The ones around Tobirama couldn't understand why his decision made perfect sense since they lacked his critical thinking, so they simply got the impression that the Uchiha should always be watched and that they were a threat. To some point, it is true, since Tobirama gave them the military police so that they can always watch over the next Madara who may threaten the peace. For someone so intelligent, Tobirama again neglected the emotions that this decision would give birth to. Therefore, the Uchiha never being able to become a part of this village 100% is Tobirama's fault. He laid the foundation of something he wanted to destroy all of his life. He knew that emotions are the biggest driving force, so he wanted those emotions to be kept in check, and he ended up making a decision that only fueled doing what he feared the most. Just like Eren sending Zeke's mom's titan to his own mom so he develops the hatred that would end this cycle, Tobirama founded the village to end this cycle and failed to foresee that this one action would initiate the same cycle again. Now that we're concluding part of our video, was Tobirama wrong to keep the Uchiha in check? Absolutely not. Any human with extremist emotions is like a bomb waiting to blow everything up. People often debate that Tobirama could have handled it in a better way, but he was never the kind of guy to just ignore the big threat, hoping that their hearts would turn towards the village. On the other hand, we shouldn't just ignore the Uchiha because of the curse. Not all of them are the same, but their extremist nature, combined with the buff they get with the Sharingan, is too much for any leader to handle. In short, if it weren't for Tobirama's decisions, things would have still turned out the same. The people around Tobirama might have gotten too soft towards the Uchiha in that parallel scenario, and we might have seen the Senju clan's downfall. Loving someone is a great thing, but hatred blinds you even more. In this case, it not only blinds them, but also gives them extraordinary visual prowess. So Tobirama has every reason to keep them in check. He did not hate them, he feared them. Every person with some foresight would see that the Uchiha are a threat to this peace, especially since their previous leader already challenged and failed. If we are being fair, Tobirama was too generous to give them such a huge responsibility and authority. To be honest, they were a group of marginalized people who betrayed their own leader, saying that they are at peace now. Then they betrayed that peace, saying that they are facing injustices. So now, I turn towards you anime fans. Was Tobirama's hate justifiable? No, it wouldn't be justifiable if he actually hated them, but his actions were indeed justifiable because of his fear. Now, what do you all think? Many of Tobirama's policies, institutions, and even jutsu that he created did cause a lot of issues we see much later in the Naruto timeline. But would he have wanted it any other way, and would the village have suffered if Tobirama had taken a new direction, if he had actually treated the Uchiha differently? Do you think the Uchiha would have accepted this offering of peace? Let me know what you guys think. And again, if you're liking the content, please feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. My name is TK. See you on the next video.